Hello guys. How are you all? कैसे हो आप लोग सब? Welcome back again to my new YouTube video. So yeah, again after a little long break, I will say, but कोई नहीं. I'm here today, shooting with a new camera. Please let me know कैसा है ये in the comments. So yeah, as seen from the title, today's video is about a book review. So generally, हमारा चैनल का जो एजेंडा रहा है कि we have to cover all the areas of like finance, spirituality, overall life experiences. So going further with that, I'm starting a new kind of talk series, you can say, where we will be reviewing certain books and discussing on certain topics. So this is how it's going to be. So let's start with that first episode, you can say, of such kind of series, with a book review of a very popular book which has been recently a very popular book and a kind of a really good book in terms of how to understand money and how to understand how it works basically, and how to manage your money and how to invest, and a complete guide, you can say. And this is one of the bestseller book in the recent time, The Psychology of Money. And we are going to do this in a unique way. So yeah, because मैं पूरी बुक तो नहीं आपको बता सकता कि एक एक पेज पढ़ के, बट व्हाट आई विल डू इज वी विल गो चैप्टर वाइज, एंड एज दे से लाइक एक चैप्टर का, yeah, let's start it, let's jump in right there, then you can understand what I want to share. So yes, so guys, अब हमारा so yeah, so the book is Psychology of Money, a very popular book in the recent time, and a very good book as well. So let's start. It is written by Morgan Housel. You can follow him on Twitter as well for really good updates he shares. So we will go chapter wise chapter कि उस chapter में लिखा क्या है, and I will try to summarize in my way कि उस chapter के पीछे का क्या है. It's a good book. You can read it on your own as well. And so yeah, so first chapter of this book deals with that no one is crazy. So what does this mean? That this means that the population of this world, in the 8 billion people out there, no one is crazy, and everyone is out there playing their own game. सब कोई बाहर है भाई, सब कोई दुनिया में बाहर है अपनी अपनी गोल्स की तलाश में, अपने everyone is busy in their own game, and everyone has their own perspective to look at this world, to look at the finance, to look at the money. So हम किसी को कह दे कि वो crazy है, that doesn't justify. So yeah, sorry, and read the summary of this chapter. I'll not say summary, but yeah, like एक आपको वो अपर्चर से आपको पता चल रहा है कि you can understand what is the skit. So your personal experiences with money make up maybe like point number of times zeros and 1% of what's happened in the world, but maybe 80%, but you overestimate. नहीं, मुझे तो सब आता है, मेरे को तो पता है पूरी दुनिया में क्या हो रहा है. That's one good point this book tries to illustrate. Like no one is crazy, and your experiences is like a minuscule of this mammoth game. Everyone is out there playing, and everyone is imperfect. Everyone is imperfect, making imperfect decisions. So don't judge anyone, and don't try to like be overconfident that whatever, or underconfident as well, like whatever decisions I'm making in finance or whatever decision I'm making with money, मुझे तो सब पता है and उसको कुछ नहीं पता है. So that is a good gist of this chapter. Second is luck and risk. इसका नीचे पंचलाइन पढ़िए. Nothing is as good or as bad as it seems. Luck and risk. These are two important factors which we generally ignore. हमेशा हमें कहा जाता है hard work करो, just follow it, करते रहो, hustle culture. But luck and risk are very important. Though they are not in our hands, though they are created by situations, but still they are a controlling factor. This is इसमें इस चैप्टर में हमें एक स्टोरी मिलती है जिसमें कहा गया कि हाउ बिल गेट्स बिकेम बिल गेट्स, because he was having those exposure. He was having that exposure. Many of his friends in the same class couldn't do that great. So luck and risk are equally important when we decide on the future journey and our fate with money. और ये जो बात कही गई है, nothing is good or as bad as it seems, मतलब कोई भी सिचुएशन कभी भी उतनी अच्छी या उतनी बुरी नहीं रह सकती है फॉर लॉन्ग टाइम. जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड दिस. एवरीथिंग इज लाइक इट्स डाइल्यूटेड विद टाइम. सो एवरीथिंग इज, ये कोई कह दे कि आई एम लाइक एवरीथिंग, आई एम द बेस्ट, वो बेस्ट बिल्कुल इट विल बी वेरी शॉर्ट लिव्ड एंड द वर्स्ट ऑल्सो विल बी वेरी शॉर्ट लिव्ड. वी आर टॉकिंग दिस अबाउट इन टर्म्स ऑफ like financial events, the crisis or the booms as well. So neither the booms do last for a long time or neither the crisis do last for a long time. So we have to understand that in terms of financial events as well. Next, never enough. When rich people do crazy things, yes, exactly. हमारे पास हजारों करोड़ की प्रॉपर्टी है, हजारों करोड़ का बिजनेस है, but we will still do illegal things. हम इलीगल काम करेंगे, हम गलत ढंग से पैसा और बनाना चाहेंगे. That's what this chapter tries to tell you. You have to contain yourself, and a very important line is written: you don't have to shift your financial goalpost after you have reached that goal. मतलब ये नहीं कि we are humans and like greed is a very indelible nature in ourselves. कि हमारे भाई हमें greed तो है ही, और चाहिए और चाहिए और चाहिए. But you have to settle down somewhere. A person earning 8% return may be a better happy person than a person who's earning 12% return on his investments. So, and he might be using that 8% return money in way better way than the person who's earning a 12% interest. So it's a very individualistic thing. Like you have to contain and you have to, I'm not saying that you'll be content with a very little, but in fact you might be, but the goal post you should not change, keep on time कि अब ये मिल गया, अब ये भी चाहिए. So there's no end to this. So this chapter is about like that. थोड़ा ज्यादा ज्ञान है, but yeah. Confounding compounding. So yeah, this very compounding के बहुत सारे हमारे अभी बाहर में बहुत books available, the compounding effect and all, which also elaborates this and in a correct way. But and we also should try to understand how compounding works. So you read that thing which is there. 81.5 billion of Warren Buffett's 84.5 billion net worth came after his 65th birthday. Our minds not built to handle such arbitraries or absurdities. So you have to understand the compounding game takes place, shows its effects in the later years. So what is important is कि आप ऐसा नहीं कि आपने आज पैसे लगाए म्यूचुअल फंड में या फिर कोई भी स्टॉक में, गुड ए ग्रेड स्टॉक में, या कोई मतलब कोई भी बिजनेस में लगाया आपने, एंड आपको 2 साल 3 साल 5 साल में रिटर्न मिलेगा. नो. वॉरेन बफेट के 81.5 बिलियन आउट ऑफ 84.5 बिलियन, ही वाज वन ऑफ द रिचेस्ट मैन इन द वर्ल्ड एट अ पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. उसके 81.5 बिलियन जब उसके 65 इयर्स के बाद बने हैं, तो यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड दैट व्हेन द सम गेट्स बिगर द रिटर्न यू गेट बिगर, एंड उस पे बिल्ड होता है. Base has to be like this. You have to keep on working to create a structure, and then you can reap the benefits of compounding on that. You have to, timing is the key. बस इसमें ये बात कह सकते हैं हम कि लंबे टिके रहोगे तो लंबा जाओगे. Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. This chapter 5 is like yeah, this chapter says like you have the like, हम कहते हैं कि उसके पास बहुत पैसा आ गया, बट ही कुडंट कंटेन एंड ही कुडंट जस्ट कैरी दैट. सो इसमें बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स हैं, जैसे कि कोई केबीसी जीतता है, 5 करोड़ जीता, और पता चलता है कि 6 महीने बाद वो 5 करोड़ भी चले गए उसके. सो दैट इज वन थिंग. यू हैव टू मेक you have to not screw up. You will screw up, but you have to see that you are like, ठीक है 50% time screw up करोगे, but still 50% time you have to not screw up and just carry on with your good decision. There are so many cases about this. Anil Ambani or any, I don't want to name them, but yeah, there are cases where decisions regarding investment and future financial planning can take like it is of prime importance. Like you might be having wealth, but you cannot carry that wealth. It will get depleted. It will be taken away from you. The world takes it away, baby. Tails, you win. You can be wrong half the same thing. You can be wrong half of the time and still make a fortune. आप जरूर नहीं कि आपने ऑप्शन ट्रेडिंग अगर करी होगी कभी या फिर आपने स्टॉक पिक किया होगा तो जरूरी नहीं कि आपका हर स्टॉक ही आपको ग्रीन में या फिर पॉजिटिव रिटर्न देगा. ऐसा नहीं होता. यू हैव टू लुक एट द ओवरऑल पोर्टफोलियो. इफ यू आर गेनिंग ऑन द ओवरऑल पोर्टफोलियो, यू आर डूइंग गुड एंड यू शुड बी हैप्पी विद दैट. 10 में से आपके 7 नेगेटिव दिखाएंगे बट 3 अच्छे पॉजिटिव दिखाएंगे तो that is a still very good situation, I will say. Okay, this is one very important lesson, I will say. Freedom. Controlling your time is the highest dividend money pays. This slide is itself sufficient. Why you want to earn money? To have a good quality time, a peace of mind. Exactly. Spend time with your family, loved ones. So this is surveys कराए गए हैं and people say that the best quality time is like when they spend with family, when they go with family for a vacation, for a trip, or for anything. You want to have a control over your time. You want to do things which you love, which you are interested in. So money, saving money, what will help you is सिर्फ पैसे बचाना. इसमें एक बुक में एक और बात कही है कि हमें सिर्फ पैसे बचाने के लिए बचाने चाहिए. ये नहीं कि हमें कुछ खरीदना है तो बचा रहे हैं. नहीं, बचाने के लिए ही बचाने चाहिए कि whenever there is a backfall, कुछ fall करते fall back, we have a cushion of money. We have a back of mind कि हाँ हमारे पास कुछ है stability. So that is one thing which this chapter of the book tells. The time and the flexibility which money gives. Man in the car paradox. Yes. So no one is impressed with your positions as much as you are. So exactly. अगर आप ये सोच रहे हो कि कोई मर्सिडीज चला रहे हो और फिर बहुत बढ़िया लग्जरी कार चला रहे हो और उसमें वो the person driving car thinks that everyone is looking at me, I'm getting attention, I'm the important one. So the thing is, whenever you look at the car, you always assume that I wish I had the same car or I am sitting inside the car. Rather, you don't think about the person. So don't be too much. आप इसमें इसका next stage ये आता है कि you should not be like spending your money, spending your hard-earned wealth or hard-earned money to show off. So because no one cares about you, they will see themselves. Okay, he has a Mercedes. How I might be looking in that Mercedes. So the person who thinks that, वो यही सोचता है कि अरे मैं इसमें बैठा होता तो कितना बढ़िया लगता. वो तुम्हारे बारे में नहीं सोचता है. So next chapter is wealth is what you don't see. Exactly. The continuation of the previous chapter. Wealth is what you don't see. The flash, the flamboyant nature, flashy things. That's not money. मैंने बहुत लोगों को देखा है जो लोन लेके बहुत सारी चीजें करते हैं. ये भी करना है, EMI पे ये लेना है, वो लेना है, and they are poor financial in plan. They are poor in financial planning. उनके पैसे जाते हैं और this is a not good thing to do actually, because say spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. आप एक financial उसमें आओगे, एक mental उसमें आओगे कि I want to show this, I want to buy expensive clothes, I want to buy expensive phones, I want to buy expensive cars, I want to go on expensive vacations. And in showing, if you really want to do that, that's another thing. But if you just want to show it, then you need to think about it. Yeah. Save money. This is what I was also discussing a little back. You have to save money. You have to just, no matter what, the only factor you control, it's in your control. You can save your money. You can just limit your expenses. You can have a lid on the container that, yeah, this is enough. I'm stopping it right there. So this is one important. Reasonable is greater than rational. Exactly. So हमारे पास, we can be either like rational क्या हुआ जिसमें आपको बताता हूँ. जैसे एक्सेल स्प्रेडशीट आपने बनाई and you are judging कि suppose you are deciding like any portfolio, like any stocks you are deciding, but आपको अगर उसका business जो उसका tangible part नहीं पता है, so you might be investing in a wrong stock. Like जैसे कंपनी के numbers उतने अच्छे नहीं है, but principle behind that might be better for that stock. बट आई नॉट से कि हमेशा नंबर्स गलत है, बट लेकिन एक और चीज, जैसे आपको मैं एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ, जैसे आपने एक एग्जांपल इसमें बहुत अच्छा कोटेड है, आई वांट टू शेयर दैट एज वेल। जैसे फीवर होता है, फीवर if we look at rationally, fever is good for us, but if we look at reasonably, fever को हम जल्दी से जल्दी खत्म करना चाहते हैं by giving medicines. So this is one example. Like आप एक्सेल स्प्रेडशीट बना लोगे कि हाँ मैं इस लड़की, आप सपोज यू आर ट्राइंग टू sort out your marriage कि whom should I marry, you can create Excel sheet for that, but at the end the reasonable person, the person who you like the most, might be you end up marrying that person. So that is what summary I will say for this chapter. Next is surprise. Yeah. So history is the study of change, ironically used as a map for the future. हम हमेशा ये करते हैं कि पास्ट में हुआ था तो फ्यूचर में भी ऐसा होगा, नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होगा. Nobody had seen COVID scenario. किसी ने नहीं प्रेडिक्ट किया था, बट ये हो गया. So you have to keep up with the surprises that are coming your way. और इसका बेस्ट तरीका है save, invest in good places and stay invested. So yeah, you cannot just इसमें सरप्राइज, इसमें ये बताया गया कि डिप्रेशन पहले कैसे मतलब कैसे होता था, and still we could not predict depression, economic depression. So economists try to find out, but they do just the postmortem, not the before analysis. Room for error. Yeah, the most important part of every planning is planning on your own plan, not going according to the plan. So this means अगर आप कुछ प्लान कर रहे हो, if you are looking कि हाँ मुझे ये करना है, या वो जो भी आपके प्लान्स हैं, so you have to keep a thought in your mind, at the back of your mind. You have to be convinced that you are going to do that, but what are the scenarios that you are going to hamper that plan? You have to take care of them. So that is, you have to be optimistic. This is not saying that you don't be optimistic or be a pessimistic, you have an alternate plan B. No, but you have to take care of the hindrances or the things which can spoil your plan. So you have to take care of them. So that is a cautionary thing, I will say, but it's a good thing. You will change. Yeah, this is again a individualistic thing. Long-term planning is harder than it seems because people's goals and desires change over time. We as a people change over time. मैं 10 साल पहले जैसा था वो 10 साल बाद शायद नहीं रहूंगा ऐसा, because क्योंकि people's goals and desires change over time, a person change over time, a person evolves. हम हमेशा यही सोचते हैं कि आज जो हम हैं आज बस यही फाइनल वर्जन है हमारा, ऐसा नहीं होता है. हर 5 साल में, हर 3 साल में, हर 6 साल में हम we change, and this is a continuous effect. Your desires, पहले हमें लगता था कि I want to go, like you want to play cricket, you want to do this XYZ, but आगे चल के लगता है कि नहीं, अभी तो मुझे ये भी घर चाहिए. पहले we might not be thinking about buying a home, but आगे चल के 10 साल बाद you might be thinking about how to plan a home. So yeah, it looks easy, the long-term financial planning, but it is really hard, and you have to keep a room for error, like the previous chapter said. Nothing is free. Everything has a price, but not all price appears on label. Exactly. Nothing is free in this world. The world is a market, and it takes what is its due. So you have to pay a price for like anything. Like if you want, take example as Mickey. If you want to buy a car today, you have 3 options. You either buy a brand new car, you either buy a second-hand car, or you can steal. Leaving the third option aside, अगर हम 2 choices देखते हैं, if you can buy a second hand or used car, then you can save a little more money and you can invest that in the retirement fund, or then you'll have much more money, that a little more money at retirement than you are having now. So you have to, like it's a what you say, that better off, like there is a trade-off. There is always a trade-off. Like if you get a new car today, you might be having less money and something like that. So you have to make a trade-off and a wise decision accordingly. And don't think that anything is free. Everything has a price to pay in one or the other way. So that is one gist of this chapter. You and me. Yeah. Beware taking financial cues from people playing different games. I will say this. Yeah. one person is hugely invested in the stock markets, or he's like, he has put a lot of bets in that, and one person is just doing it for a research purpose. Both will have a different way to look at the markets. Both will have a different way to make their investment decision. Both will have a different way for any further decision. But this is what makes market beautiful. Everyone is like what we said in the first chapter. Everyone is out there making their own imperfect decisions, and we have to deal with this. Everyone is having their own game. You have to understand that. Yet your decision might sound crazy to other, but at the same time, the vice versa could happen. So you should not be taking financial cues from like you're taking a financial cue from a very seasoned investor who is into markets with a lot of stake, and he will tell different things. You have to find someone like you who are in similar situation, same profile, but still not blindly follow that. You have to create your own. That's the gist of this chapter. The seduction of pessimism. Yeah. Optimism sounds like a sales pitch. Pessimism sounds like someone trying to help you. Exactly. This chapter says that we take optimistic. Being optimistic is a good thing, is a really good thing, and is important. But we often ignore the positive things, and we emphasize on pessimistic things. Like इसमें example है कि whenever markets go like 1% up, you will see 1%. But whenever markets go to 1% down, there's a flat news flash everywhere. Markets went 1% down. So actually, our brains are wired like that to work like that. That we have to optimistic is we take for granted. Yeah, ये तो होना ही था. And pessimism is what we pay attention, or we are cautious about that. So we have to be a possibilist, not optimist, not pessimist. We have to be a possibilist. We have to a long-term optimistic with a. We have to. इसमें एक अच्छी बात कही है. We have to make our approach. We have to follow the approach like everything is in a long good is good in a long run, or will be optimistic with a few setbacks which might be coming our way, and we have to deal with it. That's the gist of this chapter, I will say. When you will believe anything. Yeah, you will believe anything. Like the markets work on belief, not numbers. There are examples in this where for the 2008 financial crisis, where the same home loans, same houses were worth thousands of dollars, like $100,000s of dollars, and after the recession, these houses just went like 1/4, 1/5 time of their value. And nothing changed. Nothing changed overnight. Just the belief of the people changed that this house is not of that value, and people believe what was told to them and what was spread out in the market. So people believe stories. पहले मैं सोच रहा था कि ये घर $3 लाख का है, but बाद में पता चलता है नहीं, ये तो $25,000 या $50,000 भी कोई नहीं खरीद रहा है. So that's the like input for the financial crisis which happened in 2008, and similar stories is being told about that in this chapter. Yeah. So all together now, so this is like a summary chapter, what things you should do, and what things like summarizing all of this. And yeah, to summarize from my side as well, there are a lot of stories in this, and you must read them, like how a beggar or how a normal menial worker can have a good wealth, and how a rich person, because of his bad decisions like participating in corruption or something like that, leads to a very great steep downfall. And इसमें यही कहा गया है, stay invested for the long period of time. ये और भी इसमें बहुत सारी जो जितने chapters देखे, we saw that. But apart from that, like it's a summarizing chapter where there are certain like the stories I told, and you have to stay invested for a long period of time. Like, and this last chapter, he talks about his own confession of money. So yeah, this was our book for the psychology of money. A long video, I will say, but no issues. I just wanted to try it out, to read it out to you guys, in a different way. And thanks for showing love to my last video of Nifty 50, where I discussed some of the really outperforming mutual funds. Thanks for reaching out. And I'll just show a snap. Maybe if you say I can discuss this book. This book is another popular book, Atomic Habits. So if you want, we can discuss this. Please let me know. And yeah, then we can catch up definitely. So thank you for watching. Please support by subscribing if you like the content. And thank you. See you. Bye.